morning, everybody, and welcome to the Call Up. My name is Ray, and thank you for checking out the channel. If you are coming back to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, I would like you to like and subscribe, turn on your post notifications so you don't miss out on any uploads. In the comment section, also put your name and maybe where you're watching from so I could read those out every single Friday. So the reason why the show is called The Call Up is because as an athlete or a everyday person that's going on job interviews, or maybe you're looking for that new opportunity, or you're looking forward to something, you're always looking forward to that phone call, right? You're waiting for that phone to ring, you're waiting for that yes, you're waiting for that opportunity. And what I've come to realize through my experiences, through my peaks and my valleys, is that the greatest call has already been placed, and that's the call from God. He brought you here, he created you to do great things, to serve him. And if you've already realized that, if you've received that phone call and you've seen that, and you are working in that to whichever way to fulfill your life goals and to serve him, that is great. If you have not answered that call yet and you're still trying to figure out what it is you're passionate about, what it is you were meant to do, just know that God's going to keep calling, and he's going to keep showing you things and showing you things. And if you're someone that has fallen out of a relationship with him, or you've never had a relationship with him, or your relationship with him is great and you're just looking for another way to get the word, this is going to be the place to do it. I'm going to try to upload daily videos, daily scriptures, 5 to 10 minutes to basically start the day off on a positive note, get the word of God into your hearts and in your minds, and hopefully you find a connection and you relate to it in your own way. So in the intro, you saw the two scriptures that we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to relate it to parenting, coaching, teaching, just everyday life. And I want you to relate it to your life and how those words can affect you, how they affect you, and how you can maybe change and grow for the better. So the first one comes from Psalm 54:7, and it says, "You have delivered me from all my troubles, and my eyes have looked in triumph on my foes." And the second one we're going to talk about together connects with the first, and this one comes from Romans 5:3. "Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance." So both of them are trying to say that we all know that life is hard. And when life builds up, when emotions build, it seems like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But God is always going to put you in positions that he knows you're able to conquer. And it might not come today, it might not come tomorrow, it might not come a week from now, but they're there because he knows that you have the strength to conquer them. And once you do, you can look back on all that and you can kind of laugh and say, it was a big deal in the moment, but now it's not a big deal because I'm on to bigger and better things. And that's one thing he always has planned for you, is bigger and better things. And any obstacles that get put in your way, with the strength of God and knowing that he's always there, you will persevere, and you will look back and you will laugh at the foes and you will laugh at your valleys, because now you're on a peak. A personal story for me and my wife is 5 years ago, we lived in the valley. We were living off of the freeway, and we lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. We were paying $1,200 a month in rent. My daughter wasn't born yet, so it was me, my wife, and my 2 boys. And between 2 car payments, student loans, my wife was going to night school. We were both working full time, 2 daycare payments, working opposite schedules. We were living paycheck to paycheck. And once we paid out all of our bills, we had nothing. Like, it was the tightest budget you could imagine. And there was a lot of long nights. There was a lot of frustration, financial frustration, emotional frustration, working opposite schedules, so someone could always be home and available for the kids. You feel like you're missing out on something. And as frustrating as it might be as the parent that's at home, the parent that's gone also has different frustration, because, you feel like you're missing out on things. And when there's not clear communication, things tend to bubble and build. And we knew we wanted to buy a home, but we knew we weren't in a financial situation to purchase a home. When our lease was up there, we were kind of hit with either move in with my parents or her parents, or we needed to find another place to live. And at the time, Arizona was continuing to grow as it is right now, with more and more people moving to the valley. We just couldn't financially compete with what other people were able to purchase homes at, and we didn't have money to pay any more rent than $1,200 a month. And my wife found an ad for a home for rent out in Coolidge, and that is about a 45, 50-minute drive from the valley, and it's a rural town. And when we came and checked out the house, my wife came, checked it out, and she had to convince me to move out here because I didn't want to move away. It seemed very far. It was far away from where we worked. It was far away from our families, and it was just kind of an inconvenient move. And that's how I looked at it. And we ended up moving out there, and we've been out here now for 5 years. And within the past 2 months, my wife and I recently purchased our first home here in Coolidge. And I don't want to say it's our dream home, but right now it feels like our dream home because it's our first home, and it's a home that we have worked for very, very hard. And even though we've worked for it for the past 2.5 years to get financials straightened out, you add those 2.5 years onto the first 5 years that we were here. So, it's been 7 years. It's been 7 long years of working multiple jobs to throw money at debt to pay it down. And now when I sit back and think, I know that that was God's plan all along. And God knew that my wife and I wanted to buy a house for ourselves and for our family, and a home that my kids could call their family, their childhood home. And I feel that God said, okay, you want a house? I'll present you the opportunity to get a house, but it's not going to be here. It's going to be where I know you can make it happen. And I didn't see that at the time. All I saw was, I don't want to move an hour away from everything I knew. But God knew that you want a home? I'll give you that home. It's not going to be tomorrow, but if you move and you put your head down and you go to work and you just keep the faith, you're going to get your home. And even when we were going through that home buying process, it was still a uphill battle. And there was many nights where it wasn't really an argument, but it was a discussion of, we got turned down from our first loan, and then we applied for another loan, and we were told, oh, there's no way you're going to get denied. Well, we were denied. And my wife and I talked many times of just about walking away from it. And my wife wanted to walk away from it, and I didn't. And like I said, it was never an argument, but it was something that we had to work through. So finally, my wife said, you know what? I'm going to step away from this because it's kind of emotionally too much for me, and I'm going to let you handle it. And I didn't want to walk away from it because there was something that was just telling me, like, I have to see this through. I have to see this through. And, the first 2 loans got shot down. We got placed in the hands of another loan company, and the 2 ladies we had, they went to work, and they didn't promise us anything, but they delivered. And I got that call, and, it was like, you put your faith in me, and I showed you what it could be. And like I said, the 2 scriptures are basically talking about, guys, you're going to have your peaks, you're going to have your valleys, you're going to have your dark days, you're going to have your bright days. And in the darkest days, that's the time to not lose your faith. That's the not time to question God. And you're just going to go and put your head down, and you're going to look at what he's presented you. You're not going to look at what he hasn't presented you, because he's always going to give you something. And some of it is noticeable, some of it is not. And it's so easy for us to go to the negative, and it's so easy for us to put up the obstacles to prevent us from doing something. But we have to just keep our faith in him, knowing that he's going to present the opportunities. And instead of looking at what we don't have, look at what we do have. And what we do have, you should try to make things work with that. The same thing on the field. As a hitter or a pitcher or a basketball player, there's going to be times where it just seems like nothing is going right. And you're going to have to figure it out. And the only way to figure it out is just by keep doing. And it's finally going to happen. It's finally going to click. As a parent, you know, nobody's the best parent. And I think every single day it's a new challenge of how to be that parent that you're striving to be. And you just learn through mistakes. And when the mistakes happen, you can't hang your head. You just keep that faith and you keep moving forward. So again, I just wanted to do this because God has helped me in many, many ways. I am not a pastor. I am not a preacher. I have questioned God myself through personal struggles, and maybe through some of these videos, I'll share some of my personal beliefs. I just wanted to share his message and just know that he has your back. And again, if you're somebody who has fallen out of relationship with God, to have that relationship doesn't mean you have to go to church. You just need to open the Bible and read his word and open your heart, open your mind, and realize that God has your back. Realize that everybody's going through something, and some of the times our best defense is to put up a facade of what we want our life to be, but it's not really what it is. So stop looking at other people's lives and wishing you want what they had. Go look at what you have. Be blessed with what you have. And if there's something that you don't like, put your faith in him and he'll show you how to get out of it. So come back again, like the channel, subscribe, turn on post notifications. If you are new to the channel, please put in the comment section, where you're watching from. And if there's something you want us to pray about at the very end of this, put it in there. Prayers do a lot. And when you have multiple prayers going on, things will be answered. And the biggest thing I can tell you guys is don't question God in a negative way. Even though negative things might seem to be happening, there's always that positive that's coming. And he'll never present you a negative without showing you a positive. And things aren't always as bad as what they seem. And there's always a way out. And the first way out is to not lose faith and just know that God's not going to give you something that you cannot handle. So before we go, I'm going to pray over the day. Hopefully this did something for you. And yeah, thanks for clicking on the video. So, dear Lord, we thank you for giving us this day and the opportunities that you shall bring. We ask that you pray over our children, our family, our finances, our home. And we ask that those that are maybe struggling with some relationships, maybe personal or even with yourself, that you open our hearts, eyes, and ears and just show us love and understanding, and know that time will heal, and that through you anything is possible and we can conquer all. So, amen. All right, guys. Ray, Just a Bit Outside, Baseball, Softball Podcast. We'll see you tomorrow.